Hello and good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? My name is Zoe Baraka. It is so good to see you on here, on To My Younger Self, where we tell fascinating, nostalgic stories down the memory lane of experience and just things we've been through over the years. So I'm just going to jump right in. Thank you for joining me. I'm not able to see a lot of people. I'm not sure why Facebook does that, but sometimes you just can't see people. I see that people are on there watching with me or just, hanging with me, but I can't see you. Listen, do me a favor. Go in there, say hello, good morning, hi, what's up, anything at all, so I know you're here with me, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and try to increase this tab here. Maybe that might help a little bit. I still can't see you. I'm so sorry. But for everyone that's on here, thank you so much. I know it's really, really early. It's about 7:30 right now. So thank you for joining me. Good morning, Lynn. How are you? It is so good to see you. Thank you for joining me. This is To My Younger Self. And I am live on here with you on the Dear Daughter page. Today I'll be talking about when I was naughty, when I was younger. I did something very bad, and yeah, my dad definitely made sure. Yes, I'm going to try to remember that. Fuduawela means how did you wake up? That in my native language, Kasal. Um, you have to please help me with this. Fuduawela, I want to say Ndwo Songa. Did I say it right? Ndwo Songa means I woke up well. That's the equivalent of saying good morning in America. You say, did you wake up well? And that's Kasal for you. That's what my people speak in the Upper East region of Ghana, right? Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna jump right in to the story. So, this story happened when I was probably, you know what, I was much, much younger. I was probably 10 or 12 years old. And at that time, dad and a couple of his friends from where he worked, we all lived in the Brongahafo region. Brongahafo region, again, I have definitely forgotten my geography where Ghana is concerned, but Ghana is in a very strategic place in Africa, okay, in West Africa to be precise. It's the only Anglophone country that is surrounded by Francophone countries all around. So on the northern part of Ghana, you have Burkina Faso. When you go all the way down, at least in my mind, down from the north of Ghana to say the Volta region, you have Togo, and then I'm not sure whether it's the west or the east side, but then you have Cote d'Ivoire on that side. So where dad was at that time, and I remember it very fondly, was in the place where we shared a border with Cote d'Ivoire. That meant that we got a lot of French confectionery. We had a lot of candy and ice cream that was all French. And that little town where dad was, that was the last town just before you crossed the border and you went into Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, as they say. So this is where I just set up the stage for you. So, it was still just me and my little sister, the one right after me. And remember in the first story when I told you she had beautiful hair? She didn't only have beautiful hair, she had long, long hair, which meant that when she would go to get her hair braided, she would cry the whole time. It didn't matter if they just put a comb through it, she would just start screaming, right? So one of these days, mom said to me, oh, can you take your sister to go get a hair braid? And my mom was very good at compartmentalizing information. So she didn't tell my little sister that she had given me candy for her. This candy was called Bonbon. I remember it very well. It came in a very cute wrapper, like, colored and everything. And then after you ate the candy, you could just rub it this way and then you could put it on your skin and you would have all this, shiny things on your face. And, for a kid, that was just super awesome. It was like the best thing on earth at that time. So anyway, I took the candy that mom gave me, which I remember she hadn't given or told my sister that she had candy, right? So we went to get her hair braided. And I don't know, something happened to her. She fell asleep and she never cried. So obviously, I didn't give her the candy. And I ate the candy all by myself. I never offered her the candy. And so when we got back home, that's when mom decides to ask her. So, well, actually, she asked me, did she cry? And I said, no, she didn't. So she says, well, where's the candy then if you didn't give her the candy? I'm like, well, she didn't ask. So I ate it. In classic mom fashion, she said nothing. And dad comes home, it was after dinner, or as we say in Ghana, it was after supper. And we were all in the living room just, watching TV or whatever. And I didn't realize that my mom had told my dad that I took candy from my sister. So we're sitting there, and then my dad calls me over to, you know how fathers always have a special chair or a special space in the couch where they only sit. So he was sitting in his special area. And he calls me over, and I'm thinking, oh, we're about to have a great father-daughter moment. And he just says, kneel down. For those of you who don't know, especially Americans, kneel down means that you go down on your knees, both knees. It's a punishment, especially if you went to boarding school in Ghana. Actually, any school at all. Kneel down means you go on two knees and, you're just on your knees for a very long time, depending on how long whoever is punishing you decides you stay on the floor. And at this point, I was very confused. I was like, why is he telling me to kneel down? He just said very quietly, in granddad fashion, kneel down. I'm like, okay, I did. And I saw my dad walk out very slowly, go out into the yard and grab little gravels. You know what? The way they used it to build, houses and other things, little gravelly things, stones. Brought it into the living room, spread the gravels on the floor, and proceeded to tell me to kneel on the gravels. At this point, I was flabbergasted. I was like, what did I do? He says, oh, I'll tell you. You did something, but go on the gravels. I went on the gravels, and at that time, you learn not to challenge your parents. Things are a little different now. Kids want to know what they did before they got the punishment. It was not like that back then. You just did what they told you to do. So of course I was kneeling on the gravels. And at this point I had tears in my eyes, and woe betide me if I let it show, or if I whimpered just a little bit, like, no, it wasn't gonna happen. And so dad again slowly got up, went into the bedroom, and brought with him a fully packed suitcase full of clothes or whatever else was in there, and told me to raise my hand. At this point, again, if you're not Ghanaian, this means that you raised up your hand. So your knees are on the floor on gravels and your hands are raised up, right? My hands were raised. He put a suitcase on my hand like that. And he said, you better make sure it doesn't shake. I'm like, what is going on here? And at this point, my mom was begging for me, saying, oh, it's okay. I'm sure she learned her lesson. Guess what? I hadn't learned my lesson because I didn't know what I did, right? Oh, joy. Anyway, and again, for those of you who are not Ghanaian, there's something that there's this particular food is called fufu. And we do it with a pestle and a mortar. So dad went out and got the pestle. The pestle is a very long, heavy stick that has like a brushed area type thing that you use to pound, either cooked yam or cocoyam or plantains or whatever, put that pistol on the suitcase and told me to not let that pistol fall. Oh my goodness. I had never been punished this much in my whole life, at least at that time. And I was a very naughty girl. And so it was during this time that he told me, what's not yours is not yours. And again, I was very, very confused. What do you mean? He says to me, well, your mom gave you candy, and I'm using the word candy here because most Americans will understand it, but back home we called it toffee. Says, your mom gave you toffee for your sister. I'm like, yeah, but she didn't ask for it. And he said, that's not the point. It was not meant for you. I said, yeah, but she didn't ask for it. The instruction was if she cried, give it to her. She didn't cry. So I didn't give it to her. I ate it. And therein lies the lesson. And Dad said to me, whatever was given to you, if it was given to you specifically, then it's yours. If it wasn't given to you specifically, then it is not yours. In this case, this was for your sister. So why did you touch it? And since that time, I've always known what is not yours. It doesn't matter. It could be in business and friendship, even in sibling, just between me and my sisters. Whatever is not yours is not yours. Don't touch it. Don't go near it. It was a very good lesson in thou shalt not steal. Now, it didn't mean that I didn't, nick a little things, from here and there every once in a while. I did. But I always was very careful not to get caught, especially by my dad, because if you did, you knew the punishment you were going to get was going to be way more than what you just got. So therein lies the lesson. And this story came about, I started to think about this story because one of my friends who has kids, would always just shout on, one of the boys when they do something, I'll give you pow pow, I'll give you pow pow. And, we were just talking and I said, they did it different back home, man. Your parents never just told you they're going to give you pow pow. What in God's name is pow pow? No, you got beat real good. You got real good punishment and you never forgot why you got the punishment. And it stays with you. I know in this day and age, people will say, oh my God, that must have been traumatizing. Actually, it wasn't. For some reason, it's become part of the fond memories I have of just me, my sister, and my dad together and some of the things that, the shenanigans I got into. Okay. So therein lies the story. What's not yours is not yours. Until this day, I remember back in the day, even when my mom's phone rang, Dad will never, ever touch it or go to see who was calling. And even if he touched it, he very adeptly will hold the phone like that. Didn't look at who was calling her, just went and said, your phone is ringing, because he says, value people's privacy. What's not yours is not yours. Okay, so that's the story for today. That's what I learned over the years. Do not touch what doesn't belong to you. If it wasn't given to you, don't touch it. Thank you so much for hanging here with me. Yirana says, I see the translation says pistol. Just for the purpose of the American audience, it is spelled pestle. That's true. It is spelled pestle. Pestle. It's a pestle. And do forgive me, that's just my tonation and pronunciation. It's a pestle. Okay? All right. We didn't use it to shoot people. We used it to make food. And it's a delicious food. It's called fufu, and either you ate it with light soup or a benquine or granite soup. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it. Today, I have gone just a little over time, but I thoroughly enjoyed just going down the highways of memories and just thinking about, all the very, what should I say, very fascinating and very ingenious ways that my dad found to give me and my sisters and my brother teachable moments. And if I asked my sisters right now, they would tell you many, many stories of just how very crafty and creative he was with his punishments, but they stayed with us, and we are the better for it. So this is the thing, parents out there, do not hesitate to find teachable moment and give out creative disciplinary actions to your kids. Believe me, it stays with them. And if you're lucky, if you do it right, if you do it without malice, that's the one thing that also stays with me. My dad didn't punish us with malice. He didn't do it just to feel good. In fact, the next day he came up and explained to me why he had to do that. And he'd done that many, many times. He would tell you why he punished you, why you needed to get the punishment you got, what kind of punishment might be coming to you next time you tried something in that direction. And also he would go out and get you a little gift and you would forget all about it, right? So do it with intention. Don't just punish your kids just to punish them. Do it with intention. Do it with the notion that they're going to learn something from it, and they will. Okay? All right, this has been To My Younger Self, coming to you live on the Dear Daughter page. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for hanging there with me. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any stories of your own that you want to share with me, go ahead, put it out there in the comment section. Candy, thank you for joining me. Yidana, thank you for joining me. Lynn, thank you for joining me. There's a couple of other people that, again, I cannot see. But please say hello, good morning, wave, everything. And I am sweating because, guys, it is hot out here. It's like 87 degrees and it's not even 8 o'clock. So I'm going to log off so the sweaty face doesn't show too much, okay? I love you guys. Thank you for hanging with me. My name is Zoe Baraka, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.